Hey y'all, what's up? Ooh. Hey y'all, what's up and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kay Marie and today we are going to be talking about the lessons I learned couch to 5K. Now I went couch to 5K in December, so it's been about a month now and I'm still training because I'm training for a half marathon. I feel like those little lessons it made such a big difference. So I want to share those things with you. Here's my disclaimer. I am not a super experienced runner. I literally just did a couch to 5K. So I'm just telling you the mistakes that I made in the last, in the first 4 weeks that I have immediately seen an improvement in. So just take this as my experience is my experience. Okay. I've never been a fast runner. I don't know if this is going to help y'all or not, but just for context, I've never been a fast runner. I was not an athlete in college. I was not an athlete in high school. Well, I was as a freshman. I played basketball, but I wasn't really good. I was like always mediocre. So I'm not like an athlete or anything like that, but I do have a competitive spirit. And so some of these may be from the competitive side. Now, if you are running a couch to 5K because you just want to make it across the finish line, this may or may not be for you. This is more for the competitive person who's like, not only do I want to make it across the finish line, but I want to have a personal goal. So not necessarily like I want to compete with other people, but if you have a personal goal for the time that you want to run that in or the amount of time that you want to be running versus walking, this is going to help you. Okay. Cause I do share everything that I've experienced from the perspective of I'm not okay with just the bare minimum. And so if that's you, no offense, this just may not be for you, okay? So the first thing I recommend for your couch to 5K is using a training plan to push yourself because you don't know what you don't know. And so this comes along with that mindset that I just gave y'all of, I don't want to just do the bare minimum. I want to do whatever is considered to be my best. I want to give my all. And with that being said, when you're doing something new, you really don't know what you don't know. And so one of the lessons that I learned was I'm going to go a lot farther and be a lot more successful if I use a training plan. I've ran before and did not have a training plan a few years ago, and I ran a 5K and it was, but like it was hard to get through the training because I literally didn't know what I was doing and I was actually overtraining, and I didn't realize that until I started running the training plan for this time. I still consider myself to be couch to 5K because I stopped running for 4 years in between those two periods. But the first time I ran a 5K, I severely overtrained. I literally passed out outside one day because I was so overtrained. I was running and I was cycling. So when I came back this time, I knew I want to have an actual plan that is going to help me build my endurance and build my belief in myself, like my capacity to show up and compete against me, me against me. And so that was one of the first lessons I learned. I use the app Runner. I'll leave my link in the description box below. But yeah, when I first started running, it was like run a minute, stop, walk a minute. And I was like, okay, cool. And then the next day or 2 days later, it was like run 3 minutes and walk 30 seconds in between. And I'm of rest. And I'm like, who told you I could run 3 minutes straight? Like, where did you get this from? So, if I did not have the app, I would not have pushed myself as much as I should have pushed myself. And I did have the app, so I did end up pushing myself. And now I can run for an hour straight. Literally in 6 weeks, I can now run 5 miles without stopping at a conversational pace, okay? The second lesson I learned during couch to 5K conversational pace was truly conversational, okay? Listen, conversational. I'm saying it correctly. Listen, a conversational pace is a conversational pace. Don't push your conversational pace to be super fast thinking this is going to help me. Now, what I mean when I'm saying conversational pace, because if you're watching this video, you may not know yet, okay? Means that you are running slow enough to hold a conversation with someone. And I know if you're overweight, because I am overweight and I was even more overweight when I first started. I've lost some weight since I started, but I could not have a conversation. It was like, unless I'm power walking, do not talk to me because I don't have the capacity to hold a conversation and breathe at the same time. So I understand that feeling. And I still do kind of get that way sometimes. I can run 5 miles, but miles 3 through 5, don't try to talk to me because yes, I'm still running the same slow pace, but I'm focusing on staying alive. So just make sure that your conversational pace is truly conversational. When you're first starting, and if you're slow like I was, it's probably going to be somewhere between 14 to maybe 17 minutes a mile. Don't worry about the number. Worry about how it feels, okay? And I'm a numbers girl, so this was very hard for me to do, but just worry about how it feels. If you run by yourself, you can sing. So I sing, if I put on music, I'll sing or I'll rap, or I may say a sentence to myself or something like that to make sure that I'm keeping the right pace. The third thing I learned during my Couch to 5K experience was to run outside versus the treadmill. Now, I don't like the treadmill. Okay, you see how the attitude just came out? I do not like the treadmill, but it is cold outside. Okay, I started training the first week of December for a race that was the first week of January. Okay, it was the 1st of January. So it's been in my training anywhere from 20 to 25 degrees outside when I'm outside running. It has not been any hotter. No. I think the hottest day I trained was maybe 31. I think it was 31 or 32. It's in one of my videos, but it has never been above freezing. Never. Okay. Most people would say, you know what? I am not going outside to run for 30 minutes to an hour in the cold. Let me tell you something. Do it. Whatever the elements are, the cold, the rain, the heat. Whenever you watch this video, it may be extremely hot outside, okay? Just stay hydrated, drink your electrolytes. If it's cold, make sure you're layered up. Like, go outside, because going outside is going to best simulate whatever the race conditions are going to be. And I saw a post this morning and I was like, yes. And the post was like, I went outside and ran in the guy was like, I ran outside and ran in 19-degree weather, because when you run a marathon or whatever race you're running, you're going to need to pull from that memory and pull from that experience. So there's going to be a time where you're going to say, it's never going to be harder than this. And knowing that you've ran in colder conditions or hotter conditions or less comfortable areas and positions is going to make race day easier. Go outside and run. Okay. Just make sure that you are adequately prepared. Like I said, if it's cold, layer up. I layered up. Okay. I didn't even really understand layers when I started running. I was just like, I just know I need to have on more than one shirt and a sweater and a vest and some gloves. Like, you know, but if it's hot, same thing. Electrolytes, chafe stick, okay, which I don't even have because it's so cold outside. I didn't even need it. Like, you know, I was in leggings, I was fine. But just make sure that you're prepared. But running outside versus a treadmill, because a treadmill is not an accurate representation of what it feels like to run on a road, okay? And then number 4, the last lesson that I learned during my Couch to 5K experience was recovery. When you start running, you are going to be sore. Now, the break that I took in between my first 5K race and the one that I just ran the 1st of January a few weeks ago, that break, I stopped running, but I didn't stop training. I switched over to CrossFit. I was a CrossFit girly, lifting weights. I used to be sore all of the time. People in CrossFit don't really talk about recovery. Running, you get a little bit more recovery education, but here's how important recovery is. It's the difference in between being able to make your run or having to skip your run because you can barely walk. So what I did and what I recommend is Epsom salt recovery bath and a deep stretch. Okay. Deep stretch. Stretching beforehand is going to help prevent injury, and stretching after the run is going to help prevent soreness or ease soreness. And then I would say Epsom salt recovery bath. Okay. That Epsom salt, the magnesium soaks in through your skin. It relieves your muscles. It doesn't just smell good. It's not just about the eucalyptus. It's not something that's made up. It's research. Okay. So it is going to ease and alleviate the pain in your muscles, but you also need to stretch. Make sure you leave time in to stretch, because the times where I was like, oh, I don't have time, I gotta go to work. Oh, I don't have time to do this. I can't really stretch the way I want to stretch. So I'm not gonna stretch at all. Like the day after, I was hurting. Okay, hurting. Like couldn't even sit on the toilet. I had to just fall into the toilet. Like stretch. Okay, make sure you stretch, because sometimes the soreness, depending on how you take soreness, is enough to make you skip a run, and you don't want to skip no runs. You want to follow the training plan exactly as it is. And sometimes it can also hurt you mentally, because you're like, oh my God, this is so painful. Like I can't even, you know, do the things I need to do because I'm so sore. So just make sure you take that recovery very seriously. When I first started, I didn't, and I paid for it. So now I do Epsom salt baths. I'm actually going to try out magnesium flakes now. There's some magnesium flakes that I found on Amazon that ship in straight from the Dead Sea. Now this is me being extra. I want magnesium flakes from the Dead Sea in Israel. I don't want just Epsom salt. I'm a bougie black girl. This is what I do, okay? But you can go to any of your local health stores. You can go to Walgreens, CVS, whatever convenience store you have, and get the Dr. Teal's Epsom salt bath for like $5.99. Do it, okay? So that is all I have for y'all for Couch to 5K lessons. Let me know when you are running your first 5K. Drop the date of your race in the chat below. I would love to see it. Bye, y'all.